if you're new to inshore saltwater fishing and you're just looking for some tips on some lures to buy without going buying a heap of useless ones, what I'm going to do here is give you my top 5 tips for lures. A lot of these ones aren't that expensive, they're not over the top in price, they are very easy to use. I'll show you how to use them, I'll give you an idea how to use them, and they catch a variety of fish around this country of ours. So let's get into it. The first ones we'll talk about for inshore. Everyone will tell you soft plastics. Soft plastics are great, they don't cost a lot of money. And there are so many of them out there, it does get very confusing. And out of the thousands of different soft plastics, I basically just use one now. And the one I'll use, these are atomic grubs. Okay, I think they're called crawdad, that's it. That's a 5-inch crawdad, atomic grub. And out of all the plastics and stuff I've used over the years, this is my go-to plastic, especially when you're casting around the flats and the edge of the flats and looking for flathead and a nice feeder flathead for inshore fishermen. Very easy to use, don't cost much to buy, and they are awesome on flathead. These are my go-to lures. If I'm not catching fish on these, I'll go home. Seriously. They're atomic 5-inch crawdad, that's all it is. You can see a brown colour, and I usually use the TTs in the coloured heads. You can see there I've got a green one and I've got a pink one. And surprisingly, day to day, that does make a difference. Some days you get a lot more on the green head, other days you get a lot more on the pink. It's true. So I just have a couple of different colours of jig heads. The jig heads we usually use for these are like a 1/4 and like a 3/0 hook, I think it is. A 1/4 and a 3/0. It seems to be a perfect little size, not too heavy. So on your little light spin sticks, like your 6 pound, 4 pound, 6 pound, 8 pound, 10 pound rods, little casting rods, and 6, 8, 10 pound braid, say a 12 pound leader, these things go walking the flats, cast them off the edge, drift around your boat, whatever, kayak. These things are just a good all round lure, especially up and down the east coast if you want to chase a few flatties for a nice feed or for fun. And we've caught some big fish on these, up to 80s, well, perhaps close to the 90s on these little lures. And a lot of small fish, they are really good. So that's a good one to start with, a very basic lure that works really well on the inshore waters and around your flats, okay? Next one we'll talk about is just, once again, walking around on the flats but looking for a whiting for a feed. You can buy your little clear lures like this and they got assist hooks on them nowadays. Sugar pens, these are a sugar pen. Not the cheapest one, but they do another version. I just can't think what the name is. Another version of this, it's a little bit cheaper. But just a little stick bait like so, clear one with stripes, with assist hooks on the end. Some people do leave a treble on the front. I usually do. I've taken it off this one for some reason, probably because it was rusty or something. But a treble on the front and your assist hooks on the end. And this is good fun to go do with the kids. Walk around knees deep of water over the sand flats at high tide, casting these things, and you'll catch whiting. Whiting love these, and they're good fun. It's just a good fun. Sometimes you can see them sight casting, but most of the time you're just blind casting, like casting you see the green holes, deeper holes, or your patch of grass or something somewhere. Just cast these and they're a surface lure, just wind. And all you do is wind and have them skipping along the surface quite fast. Don't think you're going too fast for whiting. They're aggressive little buggers. They have no problem chasing these downs, and you'll hear them slurping and they'll keep slurping. And the small ones will miss. You'll feel little twitches as the small ones miss, but the big ones will suck these assist hooks in and don't usually miss. And then they take off like a little bullet across the flat. It's good fun. If you've got kids, they'll love it. It's good fun fishing. So just little stick baits, these little sugar pens, okay? Or something similar, but clear with the stripes I find usually works really well for me. Okay, and while we're on surface lures, this is basically number 2. While we're on surface, little tiny poppers in around river systems and around rock walls. You can walk along the banks casting them, you can cast them off rock walls. If you've got your boat, go cast them down the channels. And little poppers inshore are good fun for, say, down south, salmon. A bit further north, you got your tailor, you got trevally, lots of trevally will eat these type of things. And even like in southeast Queensland, up the Queensland coast, northern New South Wales, around structure for jacks. Jacks love poppers, especially at night time. Just watch where you cast them, obviously. But little poppers in around waterways are great fun. And you can buy these in packs of like 3 and stuff. Poppers come quite cheap. Just change the hardware on them. You don't have to spend a lot of money on a little popper. A little popper's a good fun way of fishing, and it will catch a variety of things in your inland waters. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3 is vibes, especially if you're a boat fisherman or on a kayak or somewhere where you're fishing the channels. Vibes are really good inshore waters. Vibes work everywhere, offshore, inshore. These are just good lures. But as you're drifting down the channels, you can use these bigger vibes in the deeper water and look for big flathead and school jew, things like that, vibing. And they don't cost a lot of money, vibes. They're not expensive lures. Okay, and they're just a slow, basically as you drift, and you can actually just lift your rod and you feel it vibe up and then drop. And then lift up and you feel it vibe up, then drop as you're drifting down channels. Or you can cast out and then just lift your rod up and basically you bounce them back on the bottom, but they'll vibe up, they'll fall, and you drag them, vibe up and fall, just cast them out and just basically hop them back. They work really well for flathead and school jew. We do get trevally and tail and stuff on them too. You catch a variety of things on them, but vibes are very good and easy fun fishing. Just lift and then, you know, just lift and wind sort of thing. Basically just hop them back if you're going to cast out. You can walk the banks and cast into the channels and once, like I said, hop them back. But most of us usually use boats or kayaks and drift down a channel and just vibe them straight up and down, or what we call teabagging. Easy fun way to fish, and it works really well. And they come in different sizes too, so you can get the big ones if you fish in high current or really deep water for looking for jew, bigger fish or big monster flathead. Or you can go down to smaller ones like so and work them along the edge of the banks, or if you're walking the bank and casting out on the edge of the sand flats and just hop them along the edges. And then you can go down to like little switchblades and stuff, these little metal ones, these little tiny things. Also a vibe, but these are really good for like brim fishing if you're going to go up the canals and cast around pontoons or dead trees in the water, or fishing hard up against bridge pylons looking for big brim. These things work really well. Little tiny switchblades, little ones. Still a vibe, just a very tiny one. They come in different sizes and they work for a large variety of fish. And once again, they're easy fun fishing. So that's number 3. Number 4 is just little divers like so. These are micro mullets. Most of you know what a micro mullet is. You've got like the little Xerics here as well, very popular lures, and around in southeast Queensland, guy makes these called pig lures. These type of little lures are awesome. Are great if you just want an easy day fishing, just go trolling. If you just want to troll around the edge of the sand flats or over the sand and mud flats at high tide and through the little channels and stuff, troll on these. We usually do it for flathead fishing, and you will catch a lot of small fish, but you will catch some bloody big fish on these too. Don't kid yourself, the big girls do eat these little tiny lures. And when we're trolling these, the boat's basically just in gear, depending on the size of your engine. If it's a bigger engine, in and out of gear, just in that. And always troll with the current. And troll these things through the channels. I'm not the main channel, but up on the flats. You got little channels, or if you can get over the flats, around the flats or around the edges, and work around the edge of weed, grass banks and stuff. Great fun, easy fishing, great for the kids. Just cast them out. You don't even have to cast them far. You only got to cast them 20 feet behind the boat, and that's it. Let them swim there. That's far enough. Not far at all. Even a bit shorter. And just slow troll in and out of gear with the current, and a good way to catch them flathead. Just have a fun, easy fishing. Even if you're on a kayak, just paddle. Just go for a slow paddle. These hang out the back along the edge of the sand flats. So just little hard bodies, and these come in a variety of shapes and sizes. Colours, they change day by day, but generally are all round good colours. Usually a pink one, or a bit of pink and silver is usually a pretty safe bet. Okay, but they do change their mind day by day, but just pink and silver, or just pink, something with a bit of pink, and is usually a pretty safe bet to catch a fish or two for a feed and for some fun. Okay, so very simple lures, all easy to use, and they all work very well. And my favourite's one I actually used to enjoy down when I was back down the Gold Coast and around the flats and fishing inshore, especially chasing large flathead, and a few tailor and trevally and things like that, and jacks. And just these things, you could say twitch baits or jerk baits, just a long skinny profile with a very small bib. I used to put these on like a 10-pound rod. I used to have quite a stiff rod, if you've got quite a stiff rod, like lights, but stiff rod. because these things used to really rip hard, just really jerk and get these things really dancing, and then pause, then dancing, then pause. And the fish will hit them on the pause. In the shallow, they only dive, you can get them down to about 1 metre with these tiny bibs, and they're really good over the flats for flathead. We used to get a lot of flathead in these type of things. It's good fun fishing. It's harder fishing because you've got to put a bit of effort into this. After a few hours of really jerking these things around, you do get sore arms and stuff. But it's a good way to find really big fish. We used to get a lot of 70s and 80s just doing this. Had a few 90s follows and seen to 90s and above. But a lot of 70s and 80s eat these, and we used to catch quite a lot and have a lot of fun. Especially over the flats at high tide. Okay? Over the flats at high tide, just jerk baits, these things. They come in, a lot of different brands use them, make them. Some of them can be rather expensive, some not so expensive. But my tip for these is if you're going to use these, don't look at the box, read the box. If it says float or fast float, that means it pops back to the surface when you stop. You don't want that. These, I don't like that. You want these ones that are either a slow, very slow sink, it says slow sink, or suspending. Suspending's the best, or a slow float, and a slow float means it very slowly floats back to the surface. Because when you give these a good rip, you want to pause, and the fish will hit in the pause. And when it pauses, you want the lure to basically stay in the spot where you stopped it. So you want it to stay here. You don't want it to dip back to the surface. That doesn't work. It's not going to help you. So you make it dance, hopefully a suspending or a slow float, and wherever you stop, it'll stop there, and then just dance and it'll stop there. That's where you want it to stop. You don't want it to float back to the surface. So be very careful of that one. Don't find a floating one. I can't remember the brand of that one, but things like this, that's a Rapala ripstop. They're really good. And these are a Duo Realis. Also suspending, really good lure, same sort of thing, just dance them over around the flats. So down south, flathead, we used to get trevally and tailor on them too. Right down south you probably get salmon and stuff on them in the rivers, and then you come up north here, you'll get a lot of jacks and you'll get barra on them as well. Barra like these sort of things, jacks love them. And that's the other thing I was going to say, instead of just using them over the flats, if you're a jack fisherman, twitching these things past all the pontoons works really well for jacks. Bridge pylons, dead trees in the water, structure, twitching these past it is a really good way to catch jacks as well. And barra, okay? Anyway, so there's 5 different types of lures we use inshore. These are the main ones I use. And you will catch a large variety of fish around the country on these things. They're not expensive, they're easy to use, you don't need big heavy outfits. You just need a nice little casting outfit. Say, I'd look at something around about a 4 kilo mark, 3 to 4 kilo mark. Make sure it's a graphite rod with a little bit stiffer tip, so when you're giving your rod a twitch with the plastics, whatever your rod tip does, the plastic will do. Or if you're using jerk baits like this, whatever you get your rod to do, they will do. If your rod's too soft in the tip, you'll twitch, the rod will bend. These won't do much at all. So get something with a little bit stiffer tip. Not overly stiff, but a little bit stiffer. So whatever your rod does, the lures do, okay? And you don't have to spend big money on outfits like this. Shimano does a good one. I think it's a Sienna combo, Sienna Viper combo. Little 2500 ball bearing reel with a 6 foot, 6'6" graphite rod. And they're, I think in BCF stores and stuff for like 99 bucks. That'll do. You'll have a lot of fun. That'll catch some good fish around the Broadwater, in rivers and canals and stuff for these type of lures. You don't have to spend big money, and it's just a good way to get out and start your lure fishing journey. And guys, I hope you enjoy. Give these things a crack. Go out, have some fun. See how you go with lures. It might surprise you. It's actually good fun fishing. Once again, guys, if you like what I do, please give me a thumbs up. If you like the video, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And I'll see you again next week for another tips and tricks.